So one big thing that I always see a lot of within and outside of the Black Clover fandom is this certain opinion about Yuno. Now, a lot of people seem to be under the impression that Yuno, the main rival of Asta, the person he grew up with, they say he doesn't have a personality or he lacks character or like things of that nature. And I just want to say, like, that is completely false, honestly. Now, this isn't like a shot at anybody who believes this. I mean, of course, if you personally don't like Yuno's personality or if you don't like his character, that's, totally fine. But this is more so towards people who say he doesn't have a personality or he doesn't have any character, which would be false. Now, in this video, I'm going to be going over what Yuno's personality traits actually are for those who might not understand how he is as a person, or maybe they haven't met a person like Yuno, or if you're just a fan of Yuno, this video's, call out. I'm a Yuno fan, and I'm pretty sure there's a lot of other you guys out there. Now, to put it most simply, if I were to say what Yuno's personality is, I believe the best way to describe it would be he's basically just like Asta. They are like incredibly similar. Of course, Asta is loud. That's probably what a lot of people will think. Asta's loud, outspoken. He's out there. He never gives up. He never shuts up, and that kind of thing. But if you think about it, outside of the yelling and shouting, they're not that different. They both have the same never give up attitude. Like, never quits. Like, there's tons of times in fights in the anime, the manga, that he said not yet, not giving up yet, all of those kind of things. He's an extremely hard worker. Like, granted, he may be talented, like he might be like a genius. A lot of people would consider him to be that, but he also works just as hard as Asta. Like, in that period leading up to the Magic Knights, he trained just as much as Asta did. Him getting more proficient with Bell. Like, granted, he was granted the Wind Spirit, but that didn't stop him. That didn't go to his head. He still works really hard on his own. Like, he's still able to be a force by himself, and that is all just a testament to how hardworking of a person he is. Another defining characteristic that him and Asta both share is that they both care about their squad mates and their friends a lot. They had that flashback, I want to say it was back in the dungeon, that they would treat any friends they met in the future as family. And that is especially true for Yuno. He goes out of his way to protect his comrades, and not even just Asta, but Mimosa, Klaus, other people. He always will go out of his way to protect his friends. So that's another huge foundation of who he is. And then also Asta even said himself that a good way to describe Yuno is that he hates to lose. Like, Yuno is extremely competitive. Like, Asta is kind of competitive, but Yuno is really, really competitive. Like, even in the hot spring arc, we see like an example of this where Leo was trying to make the water too hot, and it was like kind of egging Yuno to get out or to move. But instead of Yuno leaving like how a cool, calm person would have been, he stayed there and used his wind magic to try to cool himself off to prove he could stay there. So his rivalry doesn't stop with Asta. He has that with everyone. Like, that is the nature of a competitive person. Like, I myself, I'm competitive, so I can definitely see that. Like, I can recognize a competitive person. So it's like across the board that Yuno does not like to lose to anybody. Just because he is more soft-spoken or doesn't talk a lot, I don't think that should translate to he doesn't have a personality. Like, there are lots of actual people in real life that just don't talk a lot. They just don't have a lot to say. And that doesn't take away from their personality. That's just how they choose to express themselves, which is fine. Now, with this being established, I definitely hope that in the future of the series, we get to see growth from Yuno. Like, we get to see his personality grow, because as of this moment, he doesn't really have any character flaws. And by character flaws, I mean he doesn't have a certain aspect of his personality, or at least that hasn't been revealed to us, a certain aspect of his personality that could be seen as a personal flaw, such as, like, if any of you have seen One Piece, Luffy will tend to fight in situations that he should not fight in. That could be considered a character flaw. Or if you look at Naruto, if you remember Sasuke tended to focus on revenge. That could be seen as a character flaw. Or even in the same series, you could take Noelle from Black Clover. She oftentimes doesn't believe in herself. She has a lack of inner confidence, which would be a character flaw. Right now, we don't know any of those for Yuno, so it's like hopefully we get more on that in the future on his personality, so we can see growth, because growth comes from overcoming character flaws. So that's one of the hopes that I do have for him once we get more of him in the series. I know a lot of it also stems from Yuno Yuno gets a lot of screen time, but at the same time, he doesn't get a lot of like developmental screen time. Like a lot of Yuno's screen time is just showing where he is in terms of his power compared to Asta's, not a lot of him being able to grow as a character. Granted, we do get those bits where it looks like him and Charmy's relationship has grown, which is always funny to me since the Yuno Charmy ship is probably my favorite one in the series, but that's a topic for another day. So let me know what you guys thought about this. Let me know if you were one of the people who didn't really think Yuno had a personality and I might have changed your opinion. Or let me know if you're a fan of Yuno and you just want to see more of him. Also, if you have an idea of what Yuno's character flaw might be, let me know down below in the comments because I have no idea what it could be. I was racking my brain about this earlier for a long time. Like and sub if you enjoyed the video, and I will catch you guys next time.